welcome to the podcast, Broadcast from the Past, where we imagine what broadcast news would be like before radio or TV. Joining me today is my friend, Tony Newman.
Making this the tale of two Tonys.
Indeed it is, Tony.
Let's orient you on the structure of this podcast. Each episode begins with a brief introduction, where we will explain the concept of the podcast and identify the time period we're broadcasting from. Then we go right into the broadcast in character with guest voice actors. After that, we check in with reality with Keeping It Real, where we explain what facts were real, what facts we played with, and what was totally made up for the broadcast. We'll end each episode chatting about the research process, what we already knew, what we discovered whilst researching, and what we didn't get to include. We'll give reading recommendations and talk about where we got our information, and then finish off with a round of acknowledgements to all the contributors. Each episode is written by a passionate history buff who gets to choose which awesome moments of history we want to focus on. And today, it's Tony's turn.
Today's episode is set in Paris in 1875. Georges Bizet has finished composing Carmen, a new opera based on a famous bestseller, and the opera stars of the day are headlining the opening night performance. The broadcast style is in the form of the premiere press conference. Bing! The press conference for the Marvel Avengers movies, and you will be getting the right vibe.
Yes, murder, sex, violence. The Parisian critics are sharpening their pens for Georges Bizet's newest shocker, Carmen. We go live to Paris, where the stars of the Opera-Comique are hosting the event of the season.
And now, on to the play.
This is the Third Republic now, bringing you the day's top stories on this day of Wednesday, March 3rd, 1875. Top stories include technology. A new device called a typewriter invented in the USA is now available in France. This puts a printing press in the palm of your hand, or in two hands at least. Sports. The English finally seem to have been convinced of the superiority of tennis over cricket as a sport. It's exploding in popularity over the channel, and there are even talks about starting a series of championship events in Wimbledon, which is in England. Literature. Victor Hugo's latest novel, 93, remains a smash hit, selling out its third printing and defying critics that he is past his prime. Arts. A group of radical young painters calling themselves Impressionists have announced a second exhibition following up on last year's far from successful exhibition. The second exhibition promises to be equally as scandalous, with a lot more ballerina paintings and hopefully a lot more successful. Politics. Spain continues to mop up after the latest civil war, with a new regime under Alfonso XII starting the rebuilding process. Diplomacy. The Japanese resident ambassador to Europe, the Honorable Shimishima Nobuo, will depart for Japan on a temporary assignment to support reform efforts in his home country. A farewell dinner will be held for him among the diplomatic community before his departure. We end today's show with a special look at the event of the season, the premiere of Georges Bizet's new opera, Carmen. We are lucky to have been invited to the press conference, a glitzy affair indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paris Opera-Comique Carmen press conference. Now, welcome your host, the Venus contralto herself, Marietta Albany.
Grazie a tutti. Thank you everyone and thank you for coming to this once in a lifetime event. This is a big opera, a big event. Do you know how many big stars are in this opera? I calculated it. Pretty much every big star and every vocal track is in this premiere. Yes, it's true. We've got Paul Lerich, Jacques Bouy, and that amazing new girl Marguerite. She's delightful. Keep an eye on her. And of course, the one, the only Celestina. She is the big draw. We are excited to have Celestine and Jacques join us here today, and I'm honored to have been invited to moderate this press conference for one of the most exciting premieres of the year. So, snuggle into your winter jackets and let me tell you what this is all about. The year is 1820, and Spain is in the midst of a revolution, barely recovering after the ravages of Napoleon. José, a handsome soldier, meets a charismatic gypsy girl and soon falls victim to her seductive wiles. Based on the smash-hit scandalous novella, this opera tells the story of love, lust, betrayal, and violence. Here with us today, we have assembled quite the panel for you. The producer, Adolphe Delofre, the composer, Georges Bizet, capped off with our amazing stars, Jacques Bouy and the grande Celestine, who has brought a little pet monkey with her, dressed in a velvet jacket. How very cute. Per favore, give them a round of applause. Allora, let's get warmed up by asking each of our panelists to introduce themselves and their role in this exciting new production.
Good evening, everyone. I am Adolphe Delofre. I work with Camille Delocle, the director of the Opera-Comique, and Georges Bizet, our amazing composer, as well as our two libretticists to bring to the stage this amazing new opera based on Prosper Mérimée book, Carmen.
Hello, hello everyone. I am Jacques Bouy and I play the amazing toreador Escamillo. He is the lover and the fighter.
Bonjour, bonjour. I am delighted to be here and charmed to be playing the title role in my good friend Georges' fantastic new opera, Carmen. My character is a wild, passionate, independent girl who makes her own living as a cigarette girl. She is an amazing character and her songs are utterly divinity.
Introduce yourself, dear.
Oh, but of course, I am Célestine Gallimard. I am a mezzo, a singer. I have sung all the great roles. Normal, Dorabella, Mignon. I, of course, originated this last role.
Bonjour.
Introduce yourself, Georges.
Bonjour. I am Georges. I compose the music for the opera.
Well, that's very nice. Then let's open the floor now to questions from the press and the audience. Anyone? Yes?
Yes, Celestine. We understand you think you can see the future.
Now, please, let us be polite to our stars.
Merci, Marietta, but it is absolutely fine. Yes, I am blessed with this ability, of course, but it is a very minor talent and a very small one next to my great gift that God has blessed me with, the gift of my voice.
Yes, Celestine. Can you give us a preview of one of the arias?
I am not sure. Georges, Adolphe, is it permitted?
Why not?
Well then, hit it, Tommy. I think ça suffit pour now.
Well, that was quite, well, is it hot in here? Anyone with another question?
Adolphe, Tell us what was the most difficult aspect of mounting the production.
To be honest, the most difficult thing was adapting Mary May's novel with all of its stereotypes about the Romanis, popularly, though inaccurately called gypsies.
Mary May was talking about freedom.
That's right, George. Yes, in some ways, the novel was crafting an image of the Romani people as the epitome of freedom, freedom from responsibility, freedom from moral constraints, which combines fascination with resentment and even with repulsion. But of course, this cannot remain unpunished, especially in a woman.
If it's that bad, why mount such a production?
The book is still crazy popular, so, in a word, money, mon ami.
Monsieur Bizet, can you take us a little through your process? How did you choose this story? How did the music come to you?
Well, I was commissioned and I adore the book. And my librettists, Henry and Rudy, he knew how to make the words right. The Opera-Comique found them, but I adored them right away. The music just came.
I'm sorry?
Georges, are you all right?
I think what George is trying to say.
Oh, I have a terrible premonition about pauvre Georges.
George is trying to say that the music is very passionate and the music all derives from the emotions of the characters.
Adolphe? What was it like working with this amazing cast?
Yes, amazing, absolutely.
We heard that during one of the rehearsals, Paul almost got arrested.
It was not my fault. Paul and I just dashed out into the neighboring streets to get ourselves a drink, a nice cool beer in the alley. We did not realize what it would look like with Paul in costume.
What costume is that?
Well, Paul plays Don Jose, a soldier, but of course we were looking a little worse for wear.
He was arrested, correct?
They thought he was a deserter. We had to explain and convince him that he was singing in an opera and it was a costume.
How did you manage that?
Bah! But we sang, of course. Toreador at first glance, all the women in France want to get in my pants. And that's not counting all the gens. It's so great to be adored. I am not Thor, just a hot toreador.
Celestine, is it true that you have a monkey as a pet?
C'est vrai, mais it is a marmoset, not a monkey. They are small and sweet and very protective. His name is Ludwig, and he is with me always when I practice.
Must be a bit difficult, right, Adolphe?
I always allow my amazing talent their little requests.
Yeah, Celestine. What's it like playing a harlot?
She is not an harlot. She is a cigarette girl.
Whatever. It must be demeaning to play such a character.
No role is demeaning. I play a high priestess or an Ethiopian slave princess with the same respect. It is a role, a marvelous role, and I am a singer.
Of course, yes, Celestine, whatever you say. Well, what's it like wearing that sexy costume? The photos make the costumes look pretty revealing.
Why do I always get such questions?
Oui, you should really ask me what I am wearing in the production.
Well, everyone knows the woman on the stage is just asking for it.
Release the marmoset!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Call the monkey police! Call the monkey.
That's enough of that. Thank you all for attending, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the premiere on Wednesday. Please feel free to stay after and try the canapes. Buonanotte.
Keeping it real. In this part of the podcast, we're going to review the segment script and tease out what really happened, what we made up, and what was, well, somewhere in the middle. So, Tony, tell us, what did you keep real and what did you fudge a bit?
Honestly, you'd be surprised at how much was real.
Don't tell me the monkey was real. Come on.
The monkey was real. The premonitions were real. Celestine Gallet-Marie was a larger-than-life character. There's a musicologist, Patrick Taeb. He has written a whole book on her because her personal life and her art is so fascinating. It's worthy itself of an opera. I also tried to put a little reference into the perceptions and the way Romani people were actually portrayed at this time. I think it's part of a long tradition of history and literature where the Romani people were very much presented as other or exotic, etc., even down to the fact that the word gypsy itself is a misnaming due to common cultural beliefs that gypsies were actually from Egypt, which of course they are not. I think it was important to at least allude to the fact that this was inaccurate and that there is a lot more to be done understanding the Romani people. And I put one or two lines in the mouth of Adolphe Deloff to that effect. Of course, in reality, Adolphe Deloff would not have held what we would consider now very modern attitude toward the Romani people. So I fudged a little bit there what the people of the time would have thought.
And what about Don Jose getting arrested?
True story, but wrong time and different singers. It actually happened in the 1950s during a production of Carmen in Mexico City. It was such a funny story, I couldn't stop myself from using it.
And the paparazzi calling Celestine a harlot because of her costume?
Okay, so I made that up, but that was actually inspired by two different things. The attitude toward ballet dancers and opera singers in the 19th century, where they were kind of looked at like courtesans. And also the Marvel Avengers press conference where Scarlett Johansson kept getting asked about her skin-tight costume.
I can't believe you got a Marvel reference in there.
Well, I honestly feel like some things never change. Now I want to cite my sources and also further reading for those interested. First, the Patrick Taeb book I mentioned. It just came out last year and it's called Et Célestine Gallet-Marie créa Carmen, un féminicide à la Opera-Comique. Available only in print and in French. It is actually a well-deserved look into a woman who was absolutely incredible and much more interesting than the fictionalized version of her as portrayed in my mini play. Also recommended is the humor book Great Operatic Disasters, which is my source for the story of the singers who got arrested in soldier costume. It's a collection of humorous stories of opera productions throughout history and the globe. I also used Ian Hancock's book, We Are the Romani People, which has a section on how Romani people are represented in literature and the arts. Finally, I used the Schirmer Opera Score edition of Carmen. And finally, a last acknowledgement to our voice actors. Playing Marietta Alboni was Saki Sara. Celestine was played by Katrina Pearson. Georges Bizet was played by Merrick Sisson. Jacques Bouy was played by Alistair Doran. Adolphe Deloff was played by Simon Zielinski. The press was played by Rona Esteniel Ispalong. And the paparazzi was played by Panatat Tsubsung. And that's a wrap. See you next time on Broadcast from the Past.